Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Theresa here, and today I have a storyline layout to share with you. So we're going to hop over to the lovely city of Greensboro, North Carolina. And so I've grown up in and out of Greensboro my whole life since I was 3 years old. And so this city has a special place in my heart. And back in October, we had a little bit of cabin fever, and so Alan and I just hopped over to the city for a little Saturday adventure. Of course, we followed all the social distancing, we masked, we used our hand sanitizer, and did practice social distancing. And so I wanted to document that in my storyline notebook. I did create a grid and printed that out. I used Photoshop to create that grid and then printed that out before I started my process video. And then I'm working here with products from Heidi Swapp. Most of this is the pattern paper that you see here is from Honey and Spice. And then some of the other products that you will see are from Storyline Chapters and Old School, and just a couple of the collections that she's been releasing lately that have had this really beautiful mood. These products are a whole mood, I feel like. They're just gorgeous. The distress on them and the elegance that they have is really inspiring to me, and I'm loving working in this size notebook and love this project concept. So let me know if you would like to receive the template for this layout. I have sent out one or two with my newsletter, and if you guys enjoy receiving those, please let me know, and I will prepare this one for you, and we'll send that out as well. So I want to do things that you guys, I want to send out things that you guys want to receive. So just let me know if that would be helpful to you in working in this product, working in this notebook and in this album system. And so I'm going to, after I trimmed all of those florals, I just trimmed out 2 of them, one for each side. Then I'm going to just trim down the borders for these photos. I'm going to leave them all on one sheet on this side, and then just hand cut this plain section here. And I left that blank. You could put journaling there if you wanted to. You could put your title there. You could do embellishments or tags there. I'm going to do a combination, and you'll see, of course, as we go through the process video, what I'm going to do with that. And then for the right hand side, I had this larger photo here, and of us two, of course, wearing our masks. And so I want to just say where we are in Greensboro is actually a railroad track there. And we don't see this very often, but there's a crosswalk that crosses over the railroad track. And so when it was our turn to cross the railroad, I took a photo while we were walking of our feet on that railroad track. And so I just want to be clear that we were safe about it. We were in the crosswalk, and it was our turn, and I just snapped that photo as we were moving across the railroad track. But it's always fascinating to stand there and watch the trains go by. The train did go by as we were waiting to cross here, and so it's just some fun little photo opportunities there, just right where we were. And So what you'll see that I'm doing here is putting those large florals as the background, where there's a little bit of white space. And this really, it really isn't meant to showcase the florals per se. It's really just designed to add a bit of color and to make you go, that's kind of pretty. Because you'll see that I've adhered the flowers and then sort of covered them up with the photos and the elements on the page. And that's okay. You get this feel that, again, like I said, I feel like this floral pattern is a whole mood. And so you really just get the mood from it, the colors and this feeling. There's also a feeling of movement in this layout, and I guess because we're moving as I'm taking the photos, and so it's a fun thing to bring that into the layout here. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. Also, just a quick note about my journaling. I did type that out, and that is housed above the large photo. And I just typed that into the template that I created and printed it out and adhered it just like that. And then I'll be adding some embellishments around that journaling. And so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to just sort of figure out what are some of the elements that I feel like tie in with this layout and tie in with what I have going on here. I definitely loved that these elements had a combination of travel feel, a combination of adventure feel, but also some I love you sentiments and, sort of you mean a lot to me kind of sentiments. Alan and I definitely have a fun time exploring cities, even the cities around us that we're so familiar with. I did journal about how interesting it is to come back to Greensboro over and over through the years and to see the changes and to remember how it used to be and to see how the city evolves and grows and how things change over the years as well. Some of the changes are exciting and some of the changes are a bit nostalgic. One of the things that we had done that we were looking for that day, there are some really cool vintage shops in this area of Greensboro. And there's been one particular store that I've visited over and over and over again for as long as I can remember. And it always had these really cool doors and architectural elements and things like that. And they closed. And there was no trace of that shop anymore, and it kind of made me a little bit sad. Our headboard actually is an old door that came from that shop, and if you've seen photos of our bedroom, then you know the door that I'm talking about. And so it was a little bit of melancholy, but I know that change happens and things come about. I think that any businesses that are still able to function through this pandemic and with the lack of help that has been available to business owners, I think that anybody that's been able to stay in business is amazing, and I celebrate that. And am sad to see that shop close. I don't even remember what the name of the shop was. I just remember where it was and going to it so many times and always finding really cool things there. So if you're from Greensboro and you know the shop I'm talking about, then let me know down below. We'll weep together. So my title for this page, I used this transparency tag, and I thought that was kind of a fun way to maintain just a little bit of the the floral element here at the top of the page. And I'm just spelling out in the borough. And so sometimes Greensboro likes to pretend that it's a big city like New York, and they call it the borough. And so I made that my title, and just being like a native for the day. I really am not a Greensboro native. I was not born here. I've only actually lived in Greensboro one time, but I'll tell you my connection to the city. So my grandparents lived in Orange County, many, many moons ago. And that's actually where Heather of Heather's Crafty Life lives, in Orange County. And so my parents were already connected there, and then they moved to Burlington, North Carolina when I was 3. And the missions office, so my parents were missionaries for years and years, and the missions office was in Greensboro. It still is in Greensboro. I don't have any affiliations there anymore, but that is our connection to the city of Greensboro. And when I say that I've been in and out of Greensboro my whole life, that is really why, because of my dad's work and because of the missions office. And that's just where we always, when we came home, that's where we always had to go to, for my dad to report to his boss and things like that. And so that's really our connection. And then I don't live in Greensboro now. I live about 20-30 minutes away from Greensboro, but it's still close enough that, you know, when you want to go shopping, you go to Greensboro, or when you want to go out to eat, you go to Greensboro. So that's kind of how we are. And where our town is located is right in between Greensboro and Winston-Salem. So we have these sort of twin cities that, depending on what we want to do that day, we go to one city or the other, and just have a lifelong history with both of these cities. It's really cool. It's just part of my story. So, rambling done. I hope you guys enjoy my little stories, my little ramblings here. Let you get to know me a little bit better. But what I've decided to do, after finishing the title there, you can see how I added another tag underneath that. And then I'm building a little embellishment cluster at the bottom of the photo. And that's just a couple of word strips. And then, of course, the date on a little label. And I'm also doing a bit of stamping here. I'm using those star stamps that were in this Heidi Swapp stamp set. And then for the left-hand side, so there was a little bit of space for embellishments on that side too. And I want to just say, like, I could have left that with just the flower and it would have been a-okay. But I do like layers and I do like embellishments. And I was really a little bit fascinated with this green color. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because there's so much blue in the photos. There's blue and gray and then the brick red in my photos. And so maybe it's just another way to coordinate or collaborate here. Stop, collaborate, and listen. So I'm going to just build a little cluster here in this space. And again, still allowing a little of that floral to show through, but also incorporating a bit of word art. I wasn't sure if the foam tape would work behind this little round tag. And it was kind of funny to put the bicycle on there. We didn't ride bikes or anything that day, but it was kind of cute. I guess it sort of brings in that transportation vibe here that we're going with the train and the train tracks. I don't know. But it works. It works for a really cool pop of color. And then I'm just going to stamp a little bit on that last photo. Thank you guys so much for watching and for following along with me. I'm so glad you're here. You'll be able to see more details for this layout on the blog at theresamoxley.com. And of course, I'll have product links and more inspiration as well. So I hope to see you there. Thanks again, and I'll see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.